Hello friends, now we are solving question number 16 from exercise 5.4. So observe the given condition in the example. Here direction ratios of two lines are given to us in the first and in both example. Direction ratios of two lines are given to us and question is to find out the direction ratios of a vector perpendicular to line whose direction ratios are. Means these are the direction ratios of what? Two lines. So let us suppose that this will be say first line and this will be say second line. So now what we will do here, we will suppose that A bar be the vector along the line first and B bar be the vector along the line second whose direction ratios are given to us. Now from the direction ratio of first line, we will get the value of A bar because A bar is the vector along this line having this direction ratio, and from the direction ratio of second line we will get the value of what? B bar. What is our supposition? A bar and B bar be the vector along the line having these direction ratios. From these direction ratios we will get the value of A bar and value of what? B bar. So what will the value of A bar? Minus 2I cap plus J cap minus K cap, and value of B bar is equal to minus 3I cap minus 4J cap plus K cap. So value of A bar and B bar we will get from the direction ratios of these two lines. So A bar is the vector along line first and B bar is the vector along the line second. Now if we are finding cross product of these two vector, what we will get? A new vector. Which new vector? A bar cross B bar. And already we have seen that A bar cross B bar is nothing but a new vector which is perpendicular to A bar also and perpendicular to what? B bar also. And that is our question. Find the direction ratios of a vector which is perpendicular to both A bar and B bar. Once the value of A bar and B bar are known to us, we will get the direction ratios of this vector A bar cross B bar which is perpendicular to both A bar and B bar. So therefore A bar cross B bar will be equals to, so cross product here can be find out using determinant. So already in many example we have seen how to find out value of cross product. In the second row write down minus 2, 1, minus 1. In the third row write down minus 3, minus 4, 1. Now remaining part is just simplification part. Let us try to find out coefficient of I cap. Delete first column. Find out determinant of these four element. 1 minus 1 minus 4 will be equals to 1 minus 4 will be equals to how much? Minus 3. Here plus j cap is there, so take minus j cap, delete this column, find out determinant of these four element. So this product is minus 2 and minus 3 will become minus 5 and this minus will become plus 5. Lastly find out coefficient of k cap, delete this column, this product is 8 minus minus means plus 3, 8 plus 3 will be equals to 11. In this way we have got the value of A bar cross B bar. Once the value of A bar cross B bar is known to us, we can say that this minus 3, 5 and 11 are what? Direction ratios. Direction ratios of which vector? Which is perpendicular to A bar and what? B bar. Means which, if this vector is perpendicular to A bar and B bar, means in other word we can say that this is the vector perpendicular to both the lines, because A bar cross B bar is a vector perpendicular to A bar also and what? B bar also. Means it is perpendicular to both the line. And if the vector is known to us, then its coefficients are nothing but what? Coefficient of I cap, j cap, k cap are nothing but direction ratios. So since A bar cross B bar is perpendicular to A bar and B bar, so that is perpendicular to given two lines. Given two lines. So it is perpendicular to given two lines. Therefore we can say that therefore direction ratios of required vector are, required vector means what? That is the vector which is perpendicular to both the line. Are what? Minus 3, 5, 11. Minus 3, 5, 11. In this way we have got the direction ratios of required vector. Now in the second example also we have to find out direction ratios of a vector perpendicular to both the lines. Now observe the second example. In the second example, we are again using same method. Let A bar and B bar be the vector along the line having direction ratios 1, 3, 2 and -1, 1, 2 respectively. So A bar is the vector along line first whose direction ratios are 1, 3, 2. So value of A bar is equal to I cap plus 3j cap plus 2k cap, and value of B bar is equal to minus I cap plus j cap plus 2k cap. Once the value of A bar and B bar is known to us, find out their cross product. Here coefficients are 1, 3, 2 and here -1, 1, 2. Now we are finding coefficient of I cap. So delete this column, find out determinant of these four elements. So 6 minus 2 will be equals to 4, plus j is there. So take here minus j cap, delete this column. 2 minus minus means plus 2. 2 plus 2 will be equals to 4. Lastly, we are finding coefficient of what? K cap. So again observe here, this product is here 2 minus minus plus 2 will be equals to 4. And now delete third column. So this product is 1. 1 minus minus means plus 3. 1 plus 3 will be equals to 4. In this way, we have got the value of A bar cross B bar. So we know that A bar cross B bar is perpendicular to both the vector A bar and B bar, means it is perpendicular to both the lines. And here, so vector perpendicular to both the lines are known to us. So here coefficient of I cap, j cap, k cap are nothing but direction ratio of that perpendicular line or perpendicular vector. So in this way we have got direction ratios of the required vector, means such vector which is perpendicular to A bar also and B bar, and that vector is nothing but what? A bar cross B bar. So see here, before solving this example number 17, in this example here, example is related with what? Direction cosines of two lines which are perpendicular to each other. Now we should have to know the condition which is satisfying by direction cosines of two lines if two lines are what? Perpendicular, because that condition we have to apply in this example. So here first let us discuss about that condition. So if I am supposing that L1, M1, N1 are the direction cosines of first line and L2, M2, N2 are the direction cosines of second line, which are what? Perpendicular to each other. Now I am supposing that E1 cap is the unit vector along the line first and E2 bar is the vector along the line second, which are what? Mutually perpendicular. So what will be the value of E1 cap? If direction cosines are given to us, then already we have seen that we are able to find out unit vector along that line, and that unit vector is what? L1 I cap plus M1 j cap plus N1 k cap. So in this way we have got a unit vector along the line first, and from the direction cosines of second line we will get what? We will get unit vector along the line second. And what is the value of that unit vector? L2 I cap plus M2 j cap plus N2 k cap. Now if theta is the angle between these two lines or these two vector, then angle can be find out applying the formula of cos theta, which we are discussing what? Dot product. So what is the angle between A bar and B bar? That cos theta is equal to A bar dot B bar upon magnitude of A bar into magnitude of B bar. But instead of A bar and B bar, here vectors are denoted by E1 cap and E2 cap. So in the numerator we will get E1 cap dot E2 cap divided by magnitude of E1 cap into magnitude of E2 cap. Now magnitude means what? 1. Magnitude of unit vector is 1. So here we will get 1, here we will get 1. 1 into 1 is 1, not necessary 1 in the denominator. Now in the numerator we are finding dot product of these two vectors. Let us try to find out dot product of these two vectors. So what we'll get here? Cos theta is equals to, now these vectors are represented in what? Cartesian form. So dot product is L1 L2. First take the product of coefficient of I cap L1 L2 plus product of coefficient of j cap is M1 M2 plus product of coefficient of k cap is what? N1 N2. Applying this formula, we are able to find out angle between two vectors or angle between two lines if direction cosines of two lines are given to us. Now, if the lines are perpendicular, at that time this theta will be equals to what? 90 degree. If theta is equals to 90 degree, at that time let us see what we will get. If I am substituting theta is equal to 90, what is the value of cos 90? 0, means value of which expression will be equals to 0? L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus n1 n2 will be equals to 0. So this condition is satisfying if two vectors are what? Perpendicular, or if two lines are perpendicular to each other. Means if these two vectors are perpendicular, at that time L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2 is equal to 0. This is the condition which is satisfying by what? Direction cosines of two lines. So using this condition, we have to solve this example. So remember this condition, if two lines are what? Perpendicular to each other, then their direction cosines. If only one line is given to us, we are denoting direction cosines by what? L, M, N. But here two lines are given, that's why direction cosine of first line we have denoted by L1, M1, N1, and second line is L2, M2, N2. And if lines are perpendicular, at that time this direction cosine satisfies which condition? L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2 is equal to 0. Isn't it? So let us make the use of this condition while solving this example. Now see, in the example number 17, question is to prove that the direction cosines of two lines given by the relation, means these are the relation between direction cosines of two lines. So means two lines are given to us or two vectors are given to us, and their direction cosines of two vectors satisfies these two conditions. And these two lines are what? Perpendicular. Then we have to prove that f upon a plus g upon b plus h upon c is equal to 0. So now we are going to prove this important result, and such type of question can be asked for what? 4 marks. But these conditions, whatever may be the condition we are getting here, can be used as a shortcut method while solving objective type question. Later on we will discuss on it. Now here we have considered given two relation which are satisfying by what? Direction cosines of two lines. Instead of line, better way here use word vector, because in question instead of line word use is what? Vectors. So these are direction cosines, relation between direction cosines of two vectors. Now from first equation we have three choices. Either find out the value of L in terms of what? M and N, and substitute in equation number second, or find out value of M in terms of L and N and substitute in the equation second, or find out value of N in terms of L and M and substitute in equation number second. So as it stand, here we are finding value of L in terms of what? M and N. So from equation number first, let us see what we'll get. L is equals to, this both the term on this side will become minus bm minus cn divided by what? A, divided by A. This value of L we are getting from equation number first. Now we are substituting this value in equation number second. So put L is equals to minus bm minus cn upon A in equation 2. Let us see what we'll get here. So in the first term L does not appear, so keep Fmn as it is plus Gn as it is. I am replacing this L by its value. What is its value? Minus Bm minus Cn upon A. Okay. Plus here Hm, keep it as it is, plus Hm, keep it as it is, and replace this L by its value minus Bm minus Cn upon A. Okay, and on this side 0, keep it as it is. Just here in second term also L appears, and in the third term also L appears, and we have replaced both the L by this value. Now this whole equation is in terms of what? M and N, because we have substituted the value of L, so L will get eliminated. So now let us simplify this equation, which is in terms of what? M and N. So now if you observe the denominator of both the term, here A is there, and to eliminate A from the denominator, multiply both sides by what? A. If I am multiplying by A here, A will get cancelled. If I am multiplying by A, so here also A will get cancelled. Means to eliminate the A from the denominator, simply we are multiplying both sides by A, and parallelly we are simplifying this expression. So well, multiply to first term by A, so here we will get A F M N, plus if I am multiplying by A and A will get what? Cancel. And parallelly I am multiplying by Gn to both the terms in this bracket. Gn into minus Bm will be minus Bg minus Bgmn. BGMN. Here also plus into minus will be minus, and this product of Gn and Cn will be Cgn square. Cgn square. Now already we have seen that we are multiplying both side by a. So if I am multiplying a will get what? Cancel. Now multiply by hm to both the terms in this bracket. So here product will be equals to minus bhm square, and here product will be minus chmn. Chmn is equal to what? 0. Now first collect the terms of m square. Only one term of m square is there. What is that term? And if you observe this equation, only one term is positive and three terms are what? Negative. So better we multiply both sides by what? Minus. So that sign of all the term will get changed. If we are multiplying by minus, so here we will get bhm square. Getting it? So negative term will become what? Positive. Now we are collecting the terms of what? Mn. How many terms of Mn are there? 1, 2, 3 terms of Mn are there. And parallelly we are taking Mn common from these three terms, and parallelly we are multiplying by minus on both sides, so that sign will get changed. So here this negative term will become positive. So Bg. Here what will get? Minus Af. And here what will get? Plus Ch. Getting it? That negative term will become positive, and this positive will become what? This negative will become positive, and this positive will become negative. We are taking Mn common. Sign are getting changed because we are multiplying both sides by minus. Lastly, collect the terms of n square. Only one term of n square is there, and its sign will become what? Plus, because we are multiplying both sides by minus. Okay. So now we are trying to convert this equation in the form of quadratic equation in terms of Mn. So if you observe here, better way divide both sides by what? N square. Divide both sides by n square. Let us see what we will get if we are dividing by n square. If I am dividing to first term by n square, here we will get bh m upon n whole bracket square. So here we will get bh m upon n whole bracket square. Simply we are dividing here by n square. M square upon n square can be written as square of m upon n. If I am dividing here by n square, so n and 1 n will get what? Cancel. So here we will get m by n. Means what we are getting here? Plus bg minus af plus ch m upon n. And what is the last term? Plus cg n square. But if you are dividing by n square will get what? Cancel. This n square and n square will get cancelled. Remaining term is cg. On this side 0, keep it as it is. Now if you observe this equation, can I say that it is quadratic equation in terms of m upon n? Quadratic equation in terms of m upon n. What is this L, M, N? Are direction cosine. Direction cosines of how many vectors? 2 vectors. So by solving this equation, we are getting direction, not ratios, direction cosines of 2 vectors. So let us denote the direction cosines by L1. So let L1, M1, N1 and L2, M2, N2 be the direction cosines of 2 vectors. Okay, and by solving these two equations, we have got this quadratic equation in terms of what? Mn. Means by solving this quadratic equation, we will get one expression which are satisfying by what? Direction cosines of these two vectors. And here equation is in terms of Mn, means we will get two values in terms of what? Mn. So already you have studied about quadratic equation. If we know that quadratic equation in standard form can be written as what? Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. If alpha and beta are the roots of quadratic equation, then what is the product of roots? Is it equal to c by a? So here one root of this quadratic equation is m1 upon n1, and second root is what? m2 upon n2, because these are nothing but direction cosines. So let us by solving this quadratic equation, we will get two values of what? M upon n. First value we have denoted by m1 upon n1, and second by what? m2 upon n2. And we know that this product of root is c by a. So which is equal to, what is C here? C is nothing but CG, and A is nothing but what? BH. Okay, means product of root is nothing but C by A. We are applying this result, which is equals to, parallelly I am trying to convert this expression in the form of such terms. Okay, so now if you will observe numerator CG is there, but if we will observe one term is what? G upon B. So and another term is H upon C. To get such type of terms, I am dividing to numerator and denominator. Divide to numerator and denominator by what? BC. If I am dividing to numerator by BC, CC will get cancelled and we will get G upon B. Since we are dividing to numerator by BC, that's why we are dividing to denominator also by BC. So if we are dividing to denominator by BC, BB will get cancelled, H upon C. Again, if we are simplifying it, this term is divided. If we are taking it in the numerator, it will get multiply C by H. In the numerator, it will become what? If we are multiplying it, so it will become C upon H, and simplifying it, we will get the same result. Just we are trying to express it in this form because our result is in this form. Getting it? So now, here this expression can be written as, so therefore, M1 into M2. What is numerator? M1 into M2. And here G upon B is multiplied. On this side it will get divided by G upon B is equals to N1 N2 is divided on this side it will get multiplied, N1 into N2, in the denominator H upon C. Just we are using transformation. This term is multiplied, on this side it will get divided, this term is divided, on this side it will get multiplied. So let us denote this equation, say by equation number 3. Now this equation we have got, the result is in terms of what? M and N. So why we have got the result in terms of M and N? Because we have substituted the value of what? N. Now same method we are able to use to get another equation. If you are substituting the value of M, then another equation will be in terms of what? L and N. And if you are substituting the value of N from this, if you are finding value of N, such type of value of N from equation first, and if you are substituting in equation 2, the new equation will be in terms of what? L and M. And that equation, the result will be in the form of, means same method we are using to get this result. Similarly, we can prove that. Similarly means here we have substituted the value of L. Instead of L, if we are substituting the value of N, which type of result we will get? The result will be in terms of what? L and M. And that result will be in the form of L1 into L2. Later on we will see what we will get in the denominator, and here we will get M1 into M2, isn't it? Now we will try to find out what will the denominator. Here, if we are substituting the value of L, we have got G by B and H by C in the denominator. What we have got? G by B and H by C. If we are substituting the value of what? L. Instead of L, if we are substituting the value of N, what will the denominator of first term? Definitely it will be what? F upon A, and denominator of second term will be what? G upon B. So here we will get F upon A, and here what we will get? G upon B. Let us denote this equation, say by equation number 4. Means to get this equation, same method we have to apply. Just instead of L, which value we have to substitute? N. And simplifying it, we will get same this result. Since we are using same method, that's why we are written here similarly. From these two equations, let us see what we will get. From equation 3rd and 4th, what is this result? L1 L2 divided by F upon A is equals to M1 M2 divided by G upon B is equals to, but this value, this M1 M2 divided by G upon B is also equals to what? N1 N2 divided by H upon C. So from these two equations, these three ratios are equal. Let us denote the value of this ratio, say by lambda. Okay. So now this implies that L1 L2 is equals to F upon A will get multiplied to lambda. So here we will get lambda into F upon A plus, the value of M1 into M2 will be equals to G upon B will get multiplied to lambda. So here we will get lambda into G upon B. In the same way, N1 into N2 will be equals to lambda into what? H upon C. So we have got these three equations simplifying these ratios. Means these ratios are equal. Simplifying it, uh, we will get these results. Now it is given to us that the lines are what? Now we are using this condition. If the lines are what? Perpendicular, then using this condition, let us try to prove, try to get our required result. Now we are using second condition in the example. What second condition? Up till now we have used which condition? That direction cosines satisfies these two equation, or these two equations are nothing but what? Relation between direction cosines. Using this we have got this result. Now we are using the condition that given two vectors are perpendicular to each other. Now we are using the condition that vectors are perpendicular. So since vectors are perpendicular, therefore we can say that, or we know that direction cosines satisfies which condition? L1 L2 plus M1 M2 plus N1 N2 is equal to what? 0. This is the condition which is satisfied by direction cosines of two lines or two vector if they are perpendicular to each other. Just now we have got the value of L1 L2. What is the value of L1 L2? Lambda into F upon A. M1 M2 is equal to lambda into G upon B. N1 N2 is equals to what? Lambda into H upon C is equal to 0. So this implies that if you observe this expression, all the terms are divisible by what? Lambda. If we are dividing both sides by lambda, so here remaining term is F upon A plus here remaining term is G upon B plus here remaining term is H upon C is equal to 0. And this is the result which we have to prove here. Now, while solving objective type questions, if same conditions are given to us and similar expressions are given to us, means these two equations are satisfies are nothing but relation between direction cosine. At that time, remember that coefficient of L we have to denote it by what? A. Coefficient of M we have to denote it by what? B. Coefficient of N denoted by what? C. In the second equation, coefficient of Mn we have to denote it by F, Nl by G and Lm by what? H. And if such type of two equations are given to us, so how many values we are getting? A, B, C from first equation, F, G, H from second equation. If any 5 values are given to us and question is to find out 6th unknown value, then using this result we are able to find out our required 6 value. Means total 6 value appears in this expression. If 5 values are given to us, then one unknown value can be find out applying this result if the example is exactly in this form. So remember this as one very shortcut method can be utilized while solving the objective type question.